Hi folks, welcome back to my channel again. Today we are going to learn a new topic, which is how to consume the microservices. First of all, we will see how we will develop the microservice, and then we will see how to consume the services. For that, we have seen that Amazon vendor and Amazon client, these are the two different Spring Boot projects which we have already developed in the previous videos. I'm going to use these two projects itself. First of all, we will see how to we are going to develop these microservices. Okay, first of all, let me open this project. So here you can see to develop a microservice, first of all, what are the things we need? We need a controller. From the controller we are going to call the service class. From the service, something, if you have database, means it will hit the database and it will get the data. But for now we are not going to use the database and all. We are dealing with the static data. Why? Because the concept which you are seeing, which won't involve the database. Okay, I am going with the static data. So first of all, I have this class. This is product DTO, which is nothing but a small DTO class. In this DTO class I have defined three different variables, that is ID, name and the quantity, and I have gave all the annotations which is from the lambok, which is @data, all args, no args, constructor, builder and all. So by using all this, I'm not going to write any setter and getters. The data will take care of it. The lambok dependency will take care of it. So next I have taken one more DTO class, that is API response. In this I have two different variables, status code and product list. Okay, so in this these are the two different DTOs I have defined. So coming to this service class, what I have implemented, this is the interface. So in this interface I just wrote only one method, that is get wishlist. Okay, so coming to this implementation of that and the method get wishlist. So I have three different products, which is soap, bag and shoe. These are the three different products. So in this I have a list. So I have added these three products to the list and I am returning this product list. So this is the service implementation I have done. So why I did this code previously means, if I write the code, the video length may take very long time. So I wrote the code previously. I'm just explaining it. So if you want, you can decrease the playback speed and you can see the code. Okay, so after this service implementation, this service class is going to call in this controller class. This is the client controller which I had. So here this is the method where our endpoint is going to be exposed. So here this is the client by get wishlist. So here we are no parameters are there. Why? Because this is a get mapping. We don't need to pass currently I'm not passing any type of variables and all. So I'm hitting this service, I'm getting the wishlist. So after getting the list of products, then I'm setting a API response. So in that response I'm going to configure this wishlist and the code as 200. I'm returning that response. Okay, so once I have configured all these things, what it will do, it is going to expose a endpoint. This endpoint will return the API response object in which contains the wishlist and the status code. Wishlist is nothing but list of products. Okay, so let me quickly run this one. So once I run, what it happens, I have previously added this dependency which is regarding to the Swagger. So you know what is the use of Swagger, we saw in the first video itself. You can, if you didn't know how to configure the Swagger, we can refer my video which was already did in the past. So once I have configured the Swagger also, let me quickly run this application. Okay, let me open the main class. So the main class is open. So now I'm going to run this one. So let's see what happens. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do, I'm going to expose an endpoint. This endpoint will gives us list of products. Okay, so once it got started, I will show you in the Chrome browser by using this Swagger. Okay, I think, yeah, it started, the application got started. So you can see here localhost, I think it's 7001. 7001. The swagger is exposed in 7001. Okay, you can see here 7001, the swagger is exposed. Then this is the endpoint that we have, get wish list. So if you want to try, we can try it. If you execute this, you can see this data. These are the 3 products which we added, but this is not, this is only until we have just created the REST endpoint, we have just exposed the REST endpoint. But the main thing is how to consume this REST endpoint. Okay, how to consume this means, first of all, we are going to the different ones. I'm closing all these. Okay, I'm closing all the classes. I'm going to vendor. This is from where we are going to consume that endpoint. So here in the vendor class, we have the 2 different classes. Same, what are the same things? One more thing we have to observe here. We have to observe how the REST endpoint is going to give the data. See, it has JSON object. So in the JSON object, we have 2 different of keys. One is status code and second one is a pro list, which is going to return array list. So here in the same manner we have to define our classes. Okay, so in here itself we are going to define the same class in the DTO. I have defined product DTO in the same manner, with the same variable names, ID, name, quantity. And coming to API response, these also same, status code and pro list. Why? Because we will understand once we go into the service class, we will understand why we have to maintain the same variable names. Okay, so this is how we have maintained this product DTO and API response. Coming to this service class, we have same the old story, the interface again, get wish list, and the same implementation here. Okay, so once here let me remove which is unused. Okay, okay, fine. So here I in the resource folder application.properties, I have given one URL which is this is the URL which we have exposed. Okay, so if you hit this URL, you will get the list of products. So what I give, amazon.client.getWishList, I have given it as a property. In my implementation class, I have took the value of that by using this @value annotation. It will store in this getWish URL. So once it got when you hit this, you can see the controller here. I will show it. So in this service implementation class, what it will happen, we have one class that is REST template, which is useful for to consume the microservices. You don't remember this class again. This is REST template. Okay, so REST template is responsible for REST template is mainly used to consume microservices. Okay, so third party URLs and all. So rested on get for entity. Why I have used get? Why? Because it's a get mapping. That's why I have used get. For entity is nothing but this is the API response. There it is going to returning the API response. You can see there. I showed you in the previous Amazon client. So here we are passing the same class with the same variable names. Why? Because if you do the same things, if you maintain the same variable names, the data will automatically set into sets here. Why? Like the status code, it passes as 200, right? The same status code will store here in this status code variable. Okay, the 200 will store here when it got the response. So when I hit this URL, it will gives this response entity of API response. So if in the body I'm getting the data. Why? Because response entity will return the data in the body. So I am doing this get body. So if I use this get body, it will return this response.get body. In the body I will get this API response object. From that object I am going to get this get pro list. So finally what I will get, this list of products I will get. Okay, so what I am passing here, if response body get body not equal null, then I am passing this pro list, otherwise I am passing null. Now we will see this controller. Okay, so let's go to controller here. You can see the controller here. So now the same thing, we have wrote one controller here, but this is vendor. Okay, so in the vendor I'm going to hit this service class. So in this service class it is going to hit this microservice. Okay, the microservice is nothing but you saw here which was exposed in 7001 is going to consume in this line 24. Okay, this is how you are going to consume the REST web services by using this REST template class, which was in the package called org.spring framework itself. We have this class, you can see here, org.spring framework web.client. In this package REST template is available. So by using this REST template, we are going to consume this REST web nothing but REST endpoints. Okay, so now I will restart this application, which means vendor also I will restart this application again. Let me quickly start the application. Okay, you can see here SpringBoot app. Okay, once it got started, what it will do, I will open the Swagger for this 7002 Amazon vendor itself, and then in that Swagger I will call this endpoint, which is to get the wishlisted endpoint. So what happens, what is the main use? We think currently I'm using the starting data. If you want, you can use Amazon client with a different database, like this Amazon client project is going to use MongoDB. This Amazon vendor is going to use Oracle database. So what it is providing? It is providing list of products, which is stored, the data is stored in the MongoDB. But here we are doing storing the data in some different database, which is Oracle. But what happens, this microservice is exposed in Amazon client, which is going to consume in Amazon vendor. Okay, fine. Our it seems to be our project has started. Let me quickly open the Swagger for that too. You can see here in the top, this is the Amazon client. Let me open Amazon vendor. It was exposed on the port 7002. Okay, you can see here you can see here Amazon vendor. So when you click here get wishlist, if you try this one, if you execute this, you can see here this is the data which was fetched from that microservice. From vendor it going to fetch the data from the client. Okay, so in the client the REST endpoint is exposed, the microservice is exposed, that microservice is being consumed by Amazon vendor. By this process, you can also try it in your local system. It is a very easy process. If you have any doubts or any concerns, please drop your comments in the comment section. I will definitely give the solution for that in the next video. If you think really this video is useful, you can do a like, subscribe and share to your loved ones. Thank you very much.